Hi, in this video, we're going to learn how to reflect a point or a shape across the lines y equals x and y equals negative x. So let's first start by talking about what this line actually looks like. So it is already in y equals mx plus b form, so we can graph it very easily by adding on the plus 0 for the b, which means it's going to start at the origin, and the slope is 1 or 1 over 1. So here's the origin, my initial point, and then I'm going to rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1, and so forth. So this is the line y equals x, and that will be the line that we're reflecting over. So let's look at the triangle A, B, and C. A is the point at negative 2, 1, B is negative 1, 2, and C is 0, 1. I know that looks a little silly, but they are counting here by, looks like quarters, so 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1. So those points are correct. And now let's look at what happened when it gets reflected over this line here. So A here, the preimage A, becomes A prime at this ordered pair here, which is 1, negative 2. Oops, 1, negative 2. And B prime becomes 2, negative 1. And C prime becomes 1, 0. So what happens when it's reflected over this line is all of our coordinates, the ordered pair x comma y, become y comma x. So negative 2 comma 1 became 1 comma negative 2. B was negative 1 comma 2. It became 2 comma negative 1. C, which is 0, 1, became C prime 1 comma 0. Now let's take a peek at what happens when we reflect it over the line y equals negative x. So this time we have a negative slope, so it's going to go in the other direction. So we're going to start at 0 again, go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. So here's our line of reflection. So point A is negative 6, negative 6, comma 3. B is negative 3, comma 2, and C is negative 6, comma 1. So when I reflect it across y equals negative x, A prime becomes the point A prime becomes negative 3, comma negative 3, comma 6. Sorry about that. B prime becomes negative 2, comma 3. And C prime becomes negative 1, comma 6. So let's look at what happened. Well, the rule tells us that we're going to switch our x and y coordinates just like we did when it was y equals x, but then we make them opposite. So let's see if that happened here. So the 3 will go in the x spot, and the negative 6 goes in the y spot, and then they become opposites. So if it was positive, it becomes negative. If it was negative, it becomes positive. So you want to switch their places and then make them opposite. So the 2 becomes a negative 2, and the negative 3 became a positive 3. So we switch the places, and then we make them opposite. Negative 1, comma 6. All right, let's pause the video and have you try drawing the image of triangle LUX after a reflection over y equals x. All right, I'm going to go over the answer. So I'm going to first draw my line of reflection. So I start at 0, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. Make that into a little arrow there. Then I'm going to continue it down on the other side of the origin. And there's my line of reflection. So since I am reflecting it over y equals x, I know that all I have to do is take my ordered pair and switch it to y comma x. So let's name our points. So it looks like point L is negative 3, comma 1. Letter U looks like it is negative 3, comma 5. And letter X is 0, comma 5. So I'm just going to switch and make it 1, negative 3, 5, negative 3, and 5, 0. And I'm going to graph those points. So 1, negative 3 is L prime. 5, negative 3 is U prime. And 5, 0 is X prime. And then I'm going to connect those. Sorry, it's not so easy to make lines. And it does look like it's a mirror image over the line y equals x. Okay, we're going to pause the video again, and this time we're going to reflect the points over y equals negative x. All right, let's see how you did. So I'm going to start by drawing my line of reflection. Because it is a negative x, our slope is negative 1, so it's going to go up 1, left 1. So here is my line of reflection. And we know that the rule that describes this is going to be switch the x and y coordinates and make them opposite. So first let's name G. Looks like G is going to be 3, comma 4. L is going to be 1, comma 2. And Q looks like it's 4, negative 1. So I'm going to switch them and then make them opposites. I'm going to switch them and then make them opposites. I'm going to switch them and then make them opposites. So G prime is going to be at negative 4, negative 3. And L prime will be negative 2, negative 1. And Q prime will be 1, negative 4. And let's see if it looks like the mirror image. Sure does. And that's how you reflect over lines with a slope.